Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did trying to put that together. I'm here after just yesterday getting to do one of the most important things I've ever got to experience. One of the things that I think I love. It was one of the best days of my entire life. Just yesterday, I was able to walk my oldest baby girl, Mackenzie Nicole Wilson, who is now Mackenzie Nicole Best. I walked her down the aisle and handed her to her beautiful, handsome new husband, Malachi, and they were joined together in marriage in a beautiful micro ceremony in the mountains at a just absolute gorgeous jaw dropping setting. He was a handsome groom, she was a beautiful bride, and my heart is just overflowing. And of course, while I was there, decked out in a suit, I wanted to create a Wondervotional in that setting, and what you saw was that me doing that. Except for some reason there was no audio. For some reason it didn't record, and I actually made two and was gonna like look at it, when I got back and just see, and neither one recorded any audio. And what I find really interesting in the whole thing is after the privilege of walking her down the aisle and the honor of even officiating in the ceremony, my heart just was overflowing, and I had a separate thought of what I was going to do the one devotional on. And every time I went to talk, my heart just overflowed. It just burst with gratitude. And if you can even tell, like, I've been a bit emotional. And what's really funny is you don't know this, but I just recorded this about 10, 12 minutes of just deep, heartfelt, passionate. And I went to press end to stop the recording, and it hadn't even been recording. So whatever it is, and when you hear what I want to talk to you about in this moment, it's going to make sense. Whatever it is, I wonder today, can we focus on gratitude? Focus on gratitude. My heart was overflowing with gratitude when I recorded that, and even though the sound didn't come through and there were problems, and there are problems, you're facing problems. Even if you're not facing a problem right now, you will soon enough. And that's not being negative, it's being honest and real about life. That life is filled with trouble, it's filled with problems, it's filled with things that we have to overcome. And really, it's not about avoiding problems at all. It's about becoming brave and courageous and finding the right kind of footing and attitude to take on the challenges of life. And just what I want to tell you today is that my heart is overflowing as a dad, having been a part of honestly one of the most beautiful wedding ceremonies I've ever even imagined, let alone been a part of. And you saw some of the footage there of where we were. It was just breathtaking. And I am so grateful to God for how good God has been in my life. Have I gotten everything that I've wanted? Have I gotten everything that have things worked out the way that I wanted them to work out? No, they haven't. There's been so many things that have not gone the way I want them to go. But God is still good, because I believe that even if it's not the way I wanted it, it still can be better. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine things not going the way you want them to go, and yet an infinite cosmic mind who loves you, who's the source of your life, your creativity, your distinction, your uniqueness, that mind, that God, that sea of infinite energy who loves you infinitely, might have a better idea. And that's where thankfulness and gratitude and gratefulness comes from. There's something about being grateful that I just really want to drive this point home and not take up all your day today, but I want to encourage you about being grateful. Psalms chapter number 100 and verse number 4 says, "Enter into his gates with thanksgiving. Enter his courts with praise." You get this? As you come into the divine, it's with a gratitude, grateful heart, thanksgiving on your lips. Gratitude is an access virtue. It grants you access. Now, we could argue that there's protocol and the right way to go in before God. Yeah, of course. But it's the access attitude. Could it be that we are not seeing answers? We're not seeing the illumination of a particular problem or how to go through something or how to deal with something because we're looking at it with the wrong mentality? What if gratitude is actually the thing missing that will cause us to see what we need to see? I believe gratitude is the microscope that brings to our ability to see things that are normally too small for us to pay attention to. I believe gratitude is the telescope that draws near for our understanding and insight things which seem to be light years away if we have the wrong attitude. Gratitude magnifies the right things. Gratitude makes the little things small and the far things close. Gratitude will open your eyes and grant access to the divine things that God has in store for you. Gratitude is going to open your eyes and reveal the answer to some situations. There are ways to handle things that you'll never consider unless you're grateful and thankful and you're in that attitude of appreciation. You'll miss it. Enter his gates with thanksgiving. I love also Psalms 95:1. Come before his presence with thanksgiving. If you want to come into the presence of God, so if you're in a place where you need God's presence, the way into the presence, the way to access presence is with gratitude, thanksgiving, and appreciation. Paul says it like this in 1 Thessalonians 5:18. In everything give thanks. Now he also says rejoice evermore and to pray without ceasing. And so those are beautiful things, but I just want to focus on that one part. In everything give thanks. Corrie ten Boom, the Dutch resistance Christian, her family, her efforts, she's regarded to have saved as many as 800 Jews through her resistance effort against the Nazis, protecting them during World War II. What a tremendous person she was. She was eventually reported and her sisters and others captured and sent to concentration camp herself. She was in a political concentration camp to start with, and then she was transferred and it got worse for her. And eventually she was in a barracks that was with her and her sister, but it was so infested with fleas that they were jumping on the page. You almost could bear to keep your eyes open because of the flea infestation. It was just awful, just constant harassment by the fleas. And Corrie just was beside herself with disgust, as anyone would be, in this infestation of fleas, in this situation where her freedom had been taken away from her. And they were having a Bible study because guess what? They were able to smuggle a Bible. The guards did not see it in her sister Betsy's things, and they snuck a Bible into the concentration camp. And many of the prisoners came to Jesus during that time. It's a fascinating story, all of it, her entire life, teaching, writing. It's just a fantastic woman of God. But Betsy keyed in on this scripture in 1 Thessalonians 5:18 and said, in everything give thanks. And Corrie said, I cannot give thanks for the fleas. I cannot thank God for these fleas, right? She just couldn't. And Betsy said, okay, but can we thank God that we've been able to stay together even in the concentration camp, and we've been able to talk about God and pray, and we've seemingly been undisturbed out in these barracks. Can we thank God? And she said, I can thank God for that, but I cannot thank God for the fleas. And she said, okay. Oh, can we thank God for the Bible that we were able to smuggle in and no one's caught us with it? She goes, I can thank God for that, but I cannot thank God for the fleas. And to my understanding, she never did while she was there in the barracks, but years later. And to my understanding, she met one of the guards or someone who would have the knowledge and asked why they never stopped them from having Bible study or caught them or come out to the barracks. They were really left alone at this particular concentration camp, to which the guard said, oh, none of us wanted to go near that barracks because of the fleas. Because of the fleas. Could it be the thing that's irritating you and me is preventing something even worse? Could it be that we've grown very comfortable? Now, I want to be very careful with this. There are many of you that will hear this and you're going through very hard things. I don't want to minimize that, nor do I want to tell you be thankful and just stay in your problem. If you need to get free of abuse, absolutely take those steps. If you need to set boundaries, but you still can do it from a heart and mindset of gratitude. And what this story is really saying is that some of the things that are vexing us are actually protecting us from much worse. Or what's happening to us that we really don't like, and Corey did not like the fleas, and I don't, and you wouldn't either. But what would we not like even more? And that would be the guards harassing us, doing worse, stopping the Bible study. Could it be that God in His love is allowing some things to happen because it is protecting a much bigger picture, something only a cosmic, infinite, divine mind would be able to understand and see? I don't know what that is or isn't. I'm not minimizing your pain, nor would I minimize Corey's disgust of the fleas, or being in a concentration camp, or having her freedom taken from her, or being in the midst of World War II, or have a totalitarian dictator trying to commit genocide on millions of innocent people, the Jewish people. I don't want any of that. But in the midst of the chaos, can we find a heart of gratitude to be thankful for the things we don't understand because God is working on our behalf? And it's beyond the scope of this Wondervotional, but I will say this. We are in the earth realm, and there is a powerful tension between good and evil. There is freedom to decide in this realm where we live now, in the flesh. And that makes good possible, and it makes bad possible. But God's love is bigger. He doesn't cause the bad, but He promises you this: I can use it for your good. Given time and given trust. Don't take it out of my hand. Put it in my hands. Let me lead you. Let me guide you. I leave you today with this thought. What's one thing you can right now? I'm serious. When you pause this or you end this video, you've got to write one thing you're thankful for. Immediately, no matter where you are, write it on your hand, write it on a Post-it note, scratch piece of paper, put it in your notes on your phone. Write one thing. And I'm asking before the day's over. 5 things total. 5 things you're thankful for. Get into the mentality that brings revelation. Get into the mind share that opens and becomes a problem-solving revelation mechanism. Gratitude, all the studies, you're going to be better spiritually. You're going to have health benefits physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Your mind's going to think more clearly from a place of gratitude. And you know what? I'm grateful for a lot of things. My heart's overflowing from the beauty of this weekend. But I want to tell you this. You want to know one thing I'm grateful for? I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for this platform. I'm grateful that we're able to interact. I'm grateful for where God is taking us together. And I'm grateful that we are going and are returning to wonder together. I hope your day